On behalf of my co-host Wistancia, I'd like to welcome you to another edition of Bridging Heaven and Earth. It's really been an incredible day for me. I mean, a lot of things have happened, and it's really been something putting the show together. It seems like a lot of people got sick, and some people who are working on the show had to go to Chicago. I mean, it was really one of those days and weeks that seemed to be really extraordinary. But we have a show planned tonight that's really wonderful. We have an inspirational and motivational artist who has some pictures and some art that is so powerful and so inspiring and so rooted in a deep and powerful experience. And we have probably 25 images of pictures of his that we're going to show tonight. His name is Douet. He's had book covers and he's been written up in numerous places. Just a powerful man and an incredible painter. So, you know, we think that that'll be an exciting thing for you. And also we have a wonderful singer who came up from LA especially to be here tonight. Actually, Arthur Douet flew in from Austin, Texas to be here. So we really are honored to have him here with us. And then we have David Ault, who's going to sing some songs that are really beautiful. He has CDs out and albums out, and it's really, again, inspirational and wonderfully powerful things. So stay with us, and I think you'll have a really wonderful evening. So as we usually do at this time, to set the tone for the show and to develop the right vibration, Wistancia leads us in a meditation and an invocation. So Wistancia.
Thank you, Alan. So join with me now as we breathe into all the heavens and all the earths. And we step before Father, Mother, God as sons and daughters, as children of the One. And we come forth now with a request this night, with two requests, and asking for the blessings, that we might remain in the power and the radiance of the violet transmuting flame of forgiveness and transformation, that we might remain in that flame for the rest of our time, for the rest of these days as we emerge into our greater awareness and as we grow in our potential on the earth, that let this flame, this violet flame, flow through us in our wake and in our sleeping time. This we ask, and we ask that Saint Germain and Lord Zadkiel of the archangels be with us at this time, holding this flame. And we step before Father, Mother, God, and also ask that our steps be illuminated. These are the times where we are taking so many steps into our mastery, into our power on the earth. And we ask that the steps be assisted, that they be lighted. And sometimes when we walk on the path, we reach a point where it appears that it's a very steep step that's being asked of us. And we ask that at that time, somehow we be given the strength to keep on going, the strength to call out, the strength to reach into our own Christed hearts and pull forth that strength, that power, that endurance, that perseverance to keep going and keep learning and keep opening up to all the splendor that's now being showered upon us in this time. And so we call forth now into the studio, into your homes, and especially into the open heart. We call forth the power and the love of the archangels, asking for the protection of Michael to be with us this night. And we ask for the love and guidance of the ascended ones. Especially tonight, we ask that our hearts be touched by the love of Sananda, Jesus the Christ, as we call forth our own Christed selves to overlight us, to become us, to actually grow us into that self that we want to become on the earth. And we call forth to the presence of God that we are, the beloved I Am presence, and ask that every gap between that presence and who we are as walking upon the earth be bridged, that those gaps be bridged. And as we bridge heaven and earth, we know that healing, the healing, is what bridges heaven and earth. And so we ask that the healing that can take place this night in your heart and in all of your hearts, that healing take place now. And we ask for the great allowance, for the healing, the great release of all the past, of all the incarnations, of all that we have ever been on any dimension, any time frame, that all of those parts of ourselves be healed, be forgiven, and then we come forth now and get ready to prepare for our ascension into consciousness, into light, and that we paint those portraits of ourselves with more and more and more light every day in celebration. Thank you. So maybe we can just send our light, almost like, maybe like a painting, just kind of draw your light down into the center of the earth and up above, reaching into the great central sun above and below. Feeling yourselves just expanding as you sit here. Sit in your higher self, ask and receive that. And then just relaxing into the heart, and we can come together in oneness, connecting with the kingdoms and each other, and most of all with our own divine selves. And then just go into the silence for a moment with me. Thank you very much. So I'm really excited about this show tonight. I guess it was about 4 or 5, maybe even 6 or 7 months ago when I was flipping through a magazine. I was flipping through one of my old Angel magazines, Halo magazine, and ran across Douet's paintings. And I went, oh my God, I'd really like to have him on the show. And then we called him, and that seemed like yesterday, and now it's here. The night's here. It just seems like yesterday, and so much has happened to me and you and all of us probably, and probably Arthur also in that time. And then here we are, on this night unfolding, and I'm really excited because those paintings were dear to me. His paintings were like really dear to me, and I used them for inspiration months ago, probably even years ago. I think it was still in the maybe the beginning of the 90s when I first came across those paintings. So,
yeah, some of them actually told me he painted in the 70s.
Yeah.
One of my favorites, he said he painted in the 70s.
Yeah.
I mean, there are so many powerful pictures that you'll get to see tonight that I think let's get started because David's ready to sing.
Yeah, we've got a lot going.
As soon as David gets set up on the set, we'll have him. He's going to sing "Let the Healing Begin," which is always a good idea to me.
Yes, it is.
We could always use some more healing. So, I think it's a really a wonderful song. Is that the one that is on the tape that we listened to, right?
Yeah, both of them.
Okay, yeah, that's great.
Okay.
Okay, so David, whenever you're ready.
Wings, bring me your empty sky. Rest your trembling heart in mine. I'll sing you a lullaby. Come and find your innocence. Come find the faith of a child again. Here far below the lies you were told. Come and let the healing begin. Paint for me your darkest night. I'll paint you the Milky Way. your faded childhood dreams. I'll give you the color of days. Come and find your innocence. Come find the faith of a child again. Here far below the lies you were told. Come and let the healing begin. Someone you trusted but never knew twisted your joy into shame. They wounded you and walked away, and somehow you've taken the blame. But the fault is not yours, you are not to blame. So don't let yourself listen to the lies. For the truth is, you are my treasure child. Come, let me give you the wings to fly. Come and find your innocence. Come find the faith of a child again. Here far below the lies you were told. Come and let the healing begin. Come and let the healing begin. Whoa, come and let the healing begin.
Oh, thank you, David.
Oh, that was
really
beautiful.
lovely. Thank you very much. So,
Anyway, I love this part. I'm sitting here with a really, really terrific person. I've been waiting to meet you for so long, and then when we went to the expo last year, and we were walking around all the booths, and there was a representative of yours there, and we just grabbed him. We said, can we get in touch with Arthur Douet? You know, because the pictures, you know, ever
He
since.
couldn't stop singing the praises of Wisconsin.
I don't know if I believe
like I
it.
wasn't there again. See? See, there you go. Perfect.
But anyway, so let me formally introduce Arthur Douet, incredible artist and incredible heart person. Just incredible, just angel. You're an angel, you know. And really, I'm so glad that you're here. Really, really glad.
Kind of you to say that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, we've got so many of your creations, like all over the studio. But maybe, you know, maybe you could just kind of tell us your little story about, like, when did you realize that you had this talent? That your childhood, did you always paint, like, as a little kid?
I didn't start drawing until I was 12 years of age. And from between 7 and 0, I have no memory. So maybe I was a walk-in.
Really? You have no memory until 7?
No memory before 7.
Before 7. Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Because I can remember when I was 3.
Yeah.
Can you remember when you were a baby?
I can't remember when I was 22.
You can't remember yesterday.
But I always knew I had the talent, you know, to draw. But my uncle, who was a colonel in the army, a doctor, and knighted by the Queen, and you know, he was very influential. And he said I couldn't make a living with art. I had to join the army, so I joined police.
As it turns out,
I
it's
joined the
almost
police.
right, huh?
Yeah,
So you were a policeman?
a policeman.
Wow.
So that was my career. But at some point when I was on vacation in France, and I saw the stained glass windows and the luminosity of color, I said, this is what's calling my whole being to come here and to learn art and to become an artist.
So wait, let's back up a bit, because at first I thought you were French, but you're born in Jamaica,
Oh,
right?
yes, I'm born and raised in Jamaica.
Is that where you were a policeman?
Yes.
Okay, and then when did you get to France?
Well, I got there in 1966, and I was there for 3 years. And
You-
just
And you were studying at the art school there.
yes, yes, the School of Fine Arts.
So you didn't start drawing angels, did you? Where did you?
No, that came later when after I came to live in the United States.
Right.
And that was in 1976. I did my first angel after my first angel reading that I
Really?
had from a
So
clairvoyant.
What happened with that? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, I had this angel reading, and somehow or other something was awakened in me, connecting me with the angels, giving me the impetus to do something, to paint in such a way that I could express their reality, so that angels would no longer be on pedestals, but that we could connect with them in a real way.
Right.
So you were bridging
brothers and
angels
sisters.
and earth.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
So you're on the wrong show. No.
So Arthur, what was your, how did you first get in touch with angels? Was it in a meditation,
Yes.
a dream, what?
Yes, actually I had a dream. And in the dream it was more real than real life. An angel walked across the room, countered the gravity in a diagonal direction, stepping down as it were.
Right.
But she or he had wing-like structure. But it was so real. It was more real than real life. And then that image changed into Christ healing the man born blind.
Oh.
And so the message of the dream I deciphered for myself. Inwardly I knew that the
Let me ask you this
angel
question.
was...
It's always interesting, and you can come back to that. I mean, I know
Yeah.
Wisconsin always hates when I interrupt.
You interrupt, I was like,
Right, there was this
"What?"
incredible story in it, but it's like, what made you so sure it was a dream?
Well, I feel it was a dream. Yeah, because I was in my bed and...
Because it's in my life, some of the
yes.
different
I
different
know.
layers of
Yes,
reality,
I
kind of,
know,
you
that's
know, and
true.
you call
I'm
something a
with you.
dream, you call something.
Yes, I know what you mean. I
But
know
go
what you
back
mean.
so
Yes.
Wisconsin doesn't
Please
yell at
go-
me later.
Please go back.
Please, I got enough,
Okay, so you're in your bed and this whole thing is happening.
So I had this dream, and so that was my awakening to angel reality, and that I needed to work with them in a very special way, and a link with them, so that my paintings would reflect and then give that out to the world.
Now, Arthur, when you started painting angels, that you were already awakened spiritually, though.
Yes,
And you were already on your
yes.
on your path.
And had my
you might say.
awakening, and my awakening took place in Paris, when I used to go up on the rooftop where I lived in Montmartre.
That's a really neat. Can you tell us that story? Because I read that in
Can I
Angel
interrupt
Times.
that story?
No, I read that in the Angel Times. That was a beautiful, beautiful story. The way that happened.
Yes, I used to gaze at the stars at night from my rooftop, and the immensity and the vastness of the universe was breathtaking. But the meditation was so deep that when I came back down and went to bed, at 2 and 3 in the morning, I'd feel this energy flowing through me. It was so strong that I couldn't even move a little finger. And I had to wait for it to wear off. The energy was flowing right through the spine.
Right.
And I was afraid, a little bit afraid, you know, because I didn't know what was wrong with me. So-called wrong, you know.
You'd never
I
experienced
didn't,
anything like
right.
that.
You see, I didn't know whether I was going schizophrenic or what, you know.
Well,
But
paralysis was setting in, so good.
I made up my mind that I would continue to
Right,
meditate deeply,
right.
even although I
Right.
didn't understand
Right.
the effects. And then the fear...
And it didn't feel, it didn't feel like complete love at that time. It felt kind of slightly frightening. almost.
Yes, that's right. And
Because
then
you were so unused
I
to
gave
it.
up the fear, though, because
Right.
I remember the verse in Holy Writ that says, and underneath are the everlasting arms.
Right.
So I knew that the
So
infinite,
that faith came in.
the infinite presence was going
Right.
to take care of me. So I let go.
Right.
I let
Surrendered
go.
into
I
it.
surrendered to it.
Right.
And then then the fear left, and then it didn't
Right.
happen anymore. Yeah.
That's something we could all, we could
Have
all
a little more
experience.
faith?
Yeah. to just, I know that I've gone through some healing
Yes.
in the last few weeks, in the last few months, some real strong experiences.
Heavy.
Having to, we were talking, having to release
Right, yeah.
and let go,
Let go.
And have faith, draw on my faith, and even in the middle of intense pain.
Yes.
And it's really true. Like when you breathe into it,
Yes.
and just sort of affirm within you that everything's really okay. That's when you, even though the pain might still be there, that's when it's almost like a shawl that comes over you, and you're covered. You know what I mean?
Yes.
You know
You're protected.
You're overlit, or something, and then you can just keep going. Even though everything isn't exactly still the way you may want it, you can still keep going, because that little fire in the heart got somebody, struck up the match again, and it starts, and then you can do more. You can do anything, and then when it starts going out, you have to reach in again.
Breathing is so important, because when you breathe deeply, you open your channel. And I always believe in breathing into a canvas 3 times before I start to paint. And I start painting with my eyes closed and ask for guidance, so that I don't depend on the left brain. I don't depend on my thoughts. I allow something. And it's like this.
And you paint with your offhand.
Right.
Right. To start with.
Yes, a lot of the times I do.
Yeah, I remember reading that.
But I keep remembering something I keep hearing. I'm here to allow the doing to be done through me.
Yeah, you're a vehicle or
Yes.
an empty vessel.
You allow something to happen through you. Yeah.
So beautiful.
It feels really nice when you're
So
empty like that.
if anybody gives me credit, just pass it on.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Right.
It's just like healers,
Yeah.
like true healers always say,
The
I
divine.
do know healing. It's,
Right.
The
it's
divine,
like God working through
divine
me.
is a healer. The God presence is a healer. The only artist in the universe,
Right.
and the only musician in the universe.
Right. Well, ego has to be lessened to have that
Yes,
experience.
to
We have to have enough experience of
Yeah.
like the greater,
Yeah.
and then we could lose ourselves in a good way into that.
We're talking earlier about keeping things simple. The KISS.
KISS, right.
You know,
Stupid.
if you-
Keep
when
it
you-
simple, stupid. We were talking. Yeah, Arthur's staying at my house, so we spent the whole day together, starting with coffee at the Mesa Cafe.
I was
Arthur
wondering.
swore he only has 1 cup of coffee, but
More than one.
today there was more than one for sure.
I wonder, can I get you to read that poem?
All
I
right.
have it right here.
I have to put on my
and
4 eyes
That's
first.
fine. Whatever you have to do.
We can handle that. Our technicians can handle that.
Because it really speaks about your art.
Then we
Yeah.
have roses
Most
here.
Yeah,
beautiful
it's
way.
beautiful. It's
Yeah.
called The Rose.
Write the words you feel, O sentient one. The flower of youth fades away. Appearances disappear. All things tangible pass. And sights change like waves on the ocean. Why, O sentient one, do you cling to that which passes? This is a way of attachment. Why does your heart cling to myriad forms that return to dust? Ask, therefore, for sight without eyes, to see the light within the form, loving the tangible, but clinging only to that which transcends it. So fix a gaze upon and listen to the invisible, that in seeing the unseen splendor of essence, you will never again be deceived. The life within a rose is more than the rose it shows you.
Yeah, I think that's really wonderful. Yeah, that's
That's
great.
beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah, and that's the place you want to paint from.
That's right.
what you.
Yes.
All the paintings are just manifestations of that
Just allowing.
that surrender, that faith.
Allowing.
Right. And do you find yourself more or less able to do that under all conditions in your life, or sometimes it's easier
I
or
tell you
harder?
what, sometimes I might get down I may get discouraged or feel the sense of discouragement when having to face things like taxes and
Right.
et cetera,
And putting them,
Yeah, putting
putting
my-
these things away. It's like the 4-hour put away. It's like, holy Christ. Yeah, we had a lot of laughs today, laughing about the human condition and how things go and taxes. I was telling him I just bought this new TurboTax system, and he says, I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to know about it. But it really
So what I do when that happens is I visualize that there is like a river of light, like a waterfall of light that flows from the high place above me right through me. And I visualize releasing into that flow of light anything I'm holding on to.
Uh-huh.
And it's like letting go.
Why don't we, I think they've been showing some pictures, some shots of your
yes.
paintings, but let's
I see.
let's get into them. Like, why don't you describe the one on the far left?
The one on the far left was done in Egypt. In one
You
of the-
were in Egypt when
Yes,
you painted it.
1980.
That's what doing it in Egypt means?
In 1984, I was in Egypt and went through the temples along the Nile,
Uh-huh.
which correspond to the chakras of the body.
Uh-huh.
And this particular temple was in the heart chakra area, and that's why this sky goddess Nut, as she's called in Egypt at the time, she was the energy princess or the queen or whatever you want to call her that energized hearts, the heart chakra energy, sky goddess of mercy and compassion.
Okay, and how about the second one?
The second one is the angel of inspiration or artistic creativity. There's a whole temple dedicated to artists
Yeah, these are so
in
powerful
Egypt.
to me.
Yeah.
And the third one?
And the third one was the overlighting angels of the Holy of Holies in the temple of Hathor, where people were being initiated from one level of consciousness into a higher level.
Uh-huh.
And those
beautiful.
angels protected them from blowing the circuits.
Right,
know,
from
yeah.
just having an overload.
That's
for
right,
so much was
overload.
happening.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
And all these are all what they're seeing on camera are all lithographs, right?
They're lithographs.
And so they're
yeah.
available. So if people want
Yes.
information about them, they can call the show. Call me 687-2053, and I'll give them all the information they need.
Yes.
Okay, and the fourth one, the spiral.
Is the angel of the Great Pyramid. That when I went to the king's chamber,
Uh-huh.
I simply meditated and asked, did I be shown the great angel of that particular temple?
And
it
that's
came
what-
in a big spiral, anti-clockwise energy going down into the earth. And then there was a flow going from the earth up with, there's an energy that flows down and energy that flows
Right.
upwards. Yeah.
Right. So do you get all your paintings like in one full image?
Yes.
And then you just like basically put them on canvas?
Well, it's a yes or no. Sometimes I get the full picture, but it's not the whole of it. It's not entire. And there's a serendipity that takes place in the doing.
Right.
Something
Right.
evolves. It
Yeah,
evolves.
like- yeah,
yes.
right.
Yes.
And the last one on the right?
That's the feminine energy. Unlike the one that we saw in the middle, that's the feminine energy that has to do with sound that raises up from the water. You see, and that's in the Holy of Holies in another temple.
Absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, those are incredible. Yeah, we'll see a lot more tonight. I mean, we got, I guess, 10 or 15 or 20 more, if we have time. I mean, we'll just start.
As much as you can afford.
Yeah, as much time as we got, we're going to keep changing them and putting them up, so that's exciting. So, it's interesting because I still write screenplays. Actually, I got a good idea for a new one that I'm going to start pretty
how
soon. As
about
soon as I
that?
got, some stuff that I got to complete for this
Alan,
next period.
yeah, don't you? Yeah.
But sometimes I'd wake up in the morning and I'd have the whole next scene or the next two scenes. I mean, just all there.
Wonderful.
And I would just
Yes.
write them down, and that was it.
Yes.
I mean, nobody else was that impressed it didn't sell, but I mean, it was like that was the way they got written. I mean, it was and it was just really powerful that
Yes.
way.
Yes.
And so sometimes you get it that way, the whole thing, and then sometimes as you're doing it, it's evolving through you.
Yes.
But the process is still the same of you surrendering.
That's right. That's true. Surrendering to the flow and becoming one with the flow.
Like they talk about one with the arrow and the bow, and
Yes, the
so
Zen.
and that feeling is a feeling of real harmony and simplicity for you, and beauty, and
Yes, yes.
So talk a little bit about the way that you, when you do these paintings, now you're clairvoyant, so like when you
Wait, when you say clairvoyant,
how does
just
it relate
define
to
that.
your art? I mean, do you see?
I prefer to use the word intuitive because I don't see things around people with my two naked eyes.
But when you close your eyes, do a lot of these pictures coming from the sight within?
Yes, inner vision.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's the sense I was getting, because when we show you the soul portraits a little bit later,
Yes.
that's something that people want to know when they sit down with you. So when you do your paintings, you're in a meditation, right?
Well, I try to stay in sync. I try to stay in that meditative state. Even though the interruptions may come in and I may take a break and come back, there's a stay centered, stay in peace, stay
Right.
in peace. Yeah.
And okay, why don't we describe this next thing? I think they've set up the next series of pictures,
Yes.
if we can get them.
So now we're looking at the picture known as ecstasy. Ecstasy in being, and that takes me back to Paris days when I looked up into the starry skies at night, and I was amazed and filled with awe and love for the cosmos, but realizing that although the cosmos was vast and humongous, that little me, that I was a hologram in here. I was part of
whole.
that. I was part of the whole.
Right.
Yeah,
There was no separation
That's
between you
right.
and the vastness.
that's right.
Although it felt like it sometimes. Right, but that's like a real strong, opening realization for that.
So what I'm saying is that wherever that individual looks will not see ever a stranger,
Right,
because there's only one being in the universe.
right. And the next one, the
Beautiful.
spiral one.
Beautifully put.
And the one next to that are the angels having a party. And they're saying, y'all come up and have a party with us. We're having a party.
Spoken like a true Texan.
And the energy is coming from the center of the earth. And there's a
The
reason
Ewing
for that.
family, this Texas Ewing family.
See, the energy is coming from the very center of the earth.
Right.
And that I must deal with that later on when we do the other
Yeah,
things.
actually, you and I talked about this earlier. These would be so great as cards, and you really don't have a series of cards like a lot of other.
I have some cards of about 3 creations. of
Yeah, but I mean,
cards,
every
card
time I
cards.
watch these, I just see buying the card and saying, nice going or so. And the third one, the shafts of light.
That's a shaft of light. See, I've forgotten the name of the temple. Could be Edfu. But that was a very powerful angel, almost the energy of Michael, Lord Michael, the archangel. Archangel Michael. Yeah.
Beautiful.
And on the next one is, are you on the next one now? Yeah.
Yeah, they will be.
They
You
will
talk
be.
about it, yeah.
So the next one that you'll be looking at are the overlighting angels over the planet. And they're preparing the planet for a new order. Because the vibration of the planet will be raised in frequency. And we're experiencing the tail end of it now. The beginning of it, should I say, the beginning.
Actually, this next
The
one is
last
my
one is
favorite.
your favorite,
This
right.
is the one I like a lot. We did, I don't know if the people in Santa Barbara probably have seen the flyer around, but we did the flyer from a scan of this picture, which is just, awesome. And actually, I was visiting my parents and my brother, and of all the pictures, they picked this one out. So I don't know if it was genetic in my family, but yeah, they really like that one a lot. I think it's unbelievable.
It's called Inner Space. And it talks about the journey from the outer mind, from the 5 senses, the 5 sensual awareness, through the subconscious into the great unconscious, or the collective unconscious, as Carl Jung called it. And the neat thing about it is that we have created steps to reach this level. But when we've reached it, we realize the steps were created for our mind's sake.
Right.
It was
There's no
really-
reality to them. in
There
a
was
sense.
just one consciousness
Right,
all the
exactly,
while.
Right.
Yeah.
It's all like the illusion
Yeah.
tricking the illusion.
Yes.
And we're good at that, right?
Yeah.
I think maybe if you want, could you talk now about some of your soul portraits? Because I think they have on the camera the one you've done of Sitting Bull. Yeah.
Sitting Bull.
Yeah.
I did this for a gentleman in Phoenix, Arizona, who says that Sitting Bull is guiding him from the inner planes. And so he said, I want you to do me one of the master. His own master is Sitting Bull.
Oh.
And so I just really meditated, and like I always do, I breathe in through the crown chakra and breathe from the heart into the paper before I start working.
Right. And that was the vision that came through.
That's the vision that came through.
It's very, very powerful.
Yeah, that's powerful. So you do, that's part of, one of the kind of things you do and way you manifest your gifts is by doing portraits of people.
Yes.
And you do it in, do you do it in pastels?
Pastel, yes.
Do you do it in oils too?
Yes, in oils too. There's another one that I haven't seen yet. I thought that
did
was
we
the
show
second
the one of...
yes, the woman with her higher self.
Higher self. Yeah, we'll get that up. Yeah.
Okay.
They're working as fast as they can.
Yeah, we got a crew tonight who's just putting up pictures and setting it up and moving around. It's really great.
Also, while we're sitting here, maybe we can get a shot of the books. Arthur has done a lot of book covers for books. A lot of the books that I've read by Virginia Scene, for one, and who are the other authors of the books?
Oh yes, so there's Virginia C, and then there's one by Rosner, Reverend Rosner, and he's an Anglican priest that has his own university in Montreal, and he's written this book about the cosmic Christ.
Must be a real honor
And I did
to be
Alan-
asked to do the cover on somebody's,
Yes, and the
whole
best one I did was Alan Cohn's book.
the one that you forgot.
The
or
one I
maybe you didn't
forgot to bring, but I
Yeah.
couldn't find it. It was.
But you're working on doing a series now, or a book with people, aren't you? Isn't there some project you're working
yes.
on? Oh, there's a calendar. I remember you saying that.
There's a calendar
of all.
Yes, I'm
have
writing.
they picked out the pictures they're using for that yet?
Yes, they have.
Have they put mine in there, the one I like?
I don't think so.
Okay, let's move over to the rest of these. Okay, there's that first one.
Yes, on the left is a picture of the Dream Master. This is an angel in one of the temples that assisted the initiates to leave their body at will and go into the higher planes, including the astral, and come back with a full consciousness, with full faculties.
And come back to
awareness.
Earth and serve
Consciously.
humankind.
Consciously, yes. So
And
it's
they could
called
use the help.
soul travel, right. That's the angel of soul travel.
And the next one?
The next one is a masculine angel of creativity.
The masculine energy.
Yes,
So
masculine.
what do you find the difference between the masculine and feminine? Does that feel different when it comes through you?
I don't know if it feels
Because you
different
talk about it
through
in
me,
terms of-
but I ask that they reveal themselves to me, and I know when the energy is masculine and when it's
So
feminine.
it does feel different to you in a sense,
In
on
a
some
sense,
level.
On some level, yeah. But they're really androgynous beings,
Right.
and they have both
Yeah, they don't have,
polarities.
right,
yeah.
exactly.
Right.
But
So,
they-
so when you're feeling the masculine one, are you feeling more of the power principle rather than the love principle, or like more of the loving, nurturing part, the feminine part, and then the real power?
Well,
Is that how it works with you? when
I
you
think
feel
you're
it?
right in a general way, but there is also the love in the masculine too.
Oh, I know.
However, in the feminine energy, the love energy is more the mother nurturing, and with the male, it's understanding. It's just a different flavor of love. Yeah.
Maybe why don't we set David up over there, and then we'll come back to these paintings, because the next song is coming up. I'm really excited. This is actually my favorite song on his album, The Healing Bridge. So I'd like to hear that now. Are we ready for David to come out? David Ault, The Healing Bridge. Okay.
I see those lies of not being good enough, and I see the trials when the roads are rough. I see how scary living on faith can be. But most of all, what I see is a better way for you and me. I see a world shining, radiating health and happiness, and knowing that who we are isn't second best. Yes, we all were born to fly. That's the view from the healing bridge. I've known the pain from losing a loving friend, and I felt the shame of not fitting in. I've had a dream or two sink and fade, but most of all, I've got to believe that there's a better way for you and me. I see a world shining, radiating health and happiness, and knowing that who we are isn't second best. Yes, we all were born to fly, and I'd love to keep on soaring to the place inside my soul that remembers I'm a winner, a warrior, brave and bold. I see a world shining, radiating health and happiness, and knowing that who we are isn't second best. Yes, we all were born to fly. That's the view from the healing bridge. That's the view. That's the view. I believe it. That's the view from the healing bridge.
Oh,
Thank you,
David.
David.
That was great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
That
you.
was really beautiful. Yeah, that's quite a view. It's quite a view. Maybe you can paint the view from the healing bridge one of these days. Yeah,
I'd love to.
yeah. I mean, that's really a sight that we need to really keep our eyes on. This healing that's happening for all of us. We have so much to heal. We have so much to heal, really. And
Yes.
it's just, it's glorious because it's happening. Take it from me. It's really happening. We're doing it. We're really doing it.
Yes.
People's visions, I think what's really coming is greater than any of our visions. The actual glory and perfection that is coming, that is heaven on earth, that is the promise.
You
the
know,
divine plan.
can I quote?
Yes, you can.
In Holy Writ, there's written, this verse says, "Eye hath not seen, nor ear heard, neither hath it entered into the heart of man the glory that shall be revealed in us. And so I just
Right.
thought of that as you were speaking
Right.
because it is so apropos.
Right, and that's so beautiful that you said that, because so much of the time we're talking about the glory outside of us. You know
Yes.
what I mean? And to see the glory within us, to know
Within you,
how
yes.
divine. I mean, after all, we're the children.
You're right.
We're sons and daughters. You know, it's like we are starting to reclaim our divine inheritance. You know, it's about time.
Like those
It's a
people
celebration.
in the movie Cocoon, and they pull off their skins and the light comes out.
Yeah, we have so much light. We have so much light inside,
Yeah.
and it's so beautiful that you can see that, and that you paint that. You know what I mean?
Thank
Do
you.
you have any
This is a joy to it. Yeah.
direction or anything that's a challenge for you that you're trying, like something you're really wanting to bring to the canvas or bring to humanity?
Yes, I want to bring to the canvas a sense of transparency, that you're looking from one plane deeper into another and a third and a fourth, so that you feel a sense of depth.
Right.
And I'm not quite sure how to manifest it.
It's
But I'm
interesting,
working
but that
on it.
one that I like a lot has like the the
Three
steps
different,
through
yeah.
the layers of like almost like 2001 kind of feeling.
2001 is
baby.
right around the corner.
Oh, the one that you like?
Yeah, the one that I like with
Yeah.
that you can really see through.
See through, eh?
Arthur, did you ever play around with using other mediums? Like, I don't know why, when you were talking about transparency, I was seeing glass, I was seeing just forms, structures, surfaces that
True.
you know, I
True.
think you have the magic hands that could probably work with
There's
anything.
something about glass and see-through layers that I could work
Yeah.
with, yes.
Is
be
there
amazing.
another soul portrait that you brought with us that
Yeah.
you'd like to show?
I think it's on the screen right now.
Oh, there it is, yeah. So
Oh,
would you describe that?
That
Yeah.
soul portrait is of a young lady, and as she is in the state of contemplation or meditation, and emerging from her is a higher self aspect. And this is a magnificent light that radiates right up and down the spine.
This is the one of the ones you're working on now. You were doing that
Well,
this
I
afternoon
just
for a
did
little-
some touching up because
Yeah.
it needed some touching up, but I did it from the 70s.
You did it
From
in
the 70s. Yes, I did for myself.
Oh,
It
I
was
see.
me, yes.
Oh, I was going to say, well, you should deliver it. No wonder you have problems with the IRS. You make all these things you never delivered. You haven't delivered from 1970. I mean,
You know, Arthur, can you talk a little bit about what these soul portraits? Like,
Yeah.
what do you, how do you
Yeah.
connect with the person's soul? I mean, I think people really want to know. I mean, what's your process?
My process is that I sit with a person quietly and I listen with them. I listen in silence and I go into their inner light and I commune with their inner light and ask that I be given images that will describe and will enhance, that will empower them as beings of light.
Right.
And so in that state of receptivity, I'm given images in my mind, and I can feel vibrations and color and auric energy patterns and things like that.
so in other words,
And
it's
poetry.
it's
That's
like a
important.
healing tool for them.
Right. It's a poem, a visual poem that I do of a person, and it's not a psychic reading.
Right,
It is a reading to empower.
right.
So they can see themselves as light, as shining light, having no beginning, no end, as timeless beings.
Actually, they're showing that second one from the right on the screen now. Can you just...
Oh,
Is that the Isis
that's the great Isis, the mother Isis, the Earth Mother Isis.
That's
did
another
that.
one of my favorites. I mean, that has that same feeling of the depth
Yeah.
you're trying to create.
I did that when I visited in Egypt in 1984, and I went to the temple of Isis in the island of Philae and did on the spot sketches of the columns of the great temple.
How big is it, the original? It just feels so.
Oh, the original
Majestic.
is about just a little bit larger than
Is
that.
it?
Yes, it's in pastels.
That's beautiful. That's
So
really,
a lot of these paintings seem to be have done a long time ago. are you moving into new areas of painting now? Like, what have you been doing recently? Are you doing mostly soul portraits, or?
Well, I'm still doing the same, roughly the same agenda. The same painting light. Or allowing myself to become a vehicle, a conduit.
Right,
The energy can flow through into the canvas or the paper.
Right.
Whatever universe wants to express through me. But I'm writing a book.
Oh.
I'm writing a book. It's going to be called Angels and Knowing.
Angels and Knowing.
Yes.
And you're going to illustrate it with your own pictures and
And
things?
poetry.
And poetry.
And verse, yes. My
Great
verse is
idea.
non-rhyme, but has a flow.
So how far along are you on this?
Well, I've reached the first 15 chapters.
No kidding.
You see,
Beautiful.
really, it's a book of imagery. It's on how to empower how to empower oneself through imagination. Because, if you can see the invisible, then you will endure whatever is coming on the earth. Any kind of earth changes. If you can keep seeing the invisible splendor of light as your true identity, that will carry you through any
Hardship,
changes.
any change.
Any changes that will come through on the earth, you will go through in flying colors.
Right.
Because you'll be walking on light.
It's beautiful. Yeah. And also just connecting with that light and will change the earth's changes, because they've already been changed so much by our consciousness.
Let me say something about that.
Please.
We hear a lot about the horrific earth changes, and not to say the people who've said them are wrong. They're right, but it can be changed or mitigated, because when you shake a kaleidoscope, it changes the patterns. When you shake your own kaleidoscope, you help to change the patterns of the kaleidoscope of the whole planet.
Absolutely. That was beautiful.
And then, so like a mother that's having a child, if she breathes in a certain way, deep breathing, she can mitigate the pain of having the child.
Right.
So our mother is birthing a new consciousness.
Absolutely. And we're all co-creators in
Yes,
this birth.
co-creators,
We're
right.
all co-midwives.
Midwives, right.
Midwives. How exciting. Yeah, this is an incredible time we're in. I think we have one more on that.
No, we have a bunch more, I think. We have 2 or 3 more.
Well, I just brought as many as you could take.
Okay,
So what's the one
go
on the
through those
left?
quick-
Describe that one.
That's the angel of music. It was done in Egypt, of course, one of the temples, but there's so much flow into music, sound. There are angels of music. I mean, people who create music, they work with the angels.
That's
they're
David's
tuned
angel.
to a higher vibe, like David. David has his own angel that works along with him.
Yeah, we had a few weeks back, or a month or so, time is not one of my strong suits, but Kim Robertson was on this show, a real famous Celtic harpist, and she talked about being, moved by the angelic presences and all.
Yeah.
And that's a very angelic instrument, too.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes,
the
yes,
harp.
associated with angels.
And
The
the
second
next
one is, that's beautiful.
That's the angel of, at the bottom of the Nile, the base of the Nile, corresponding to the chakra, the base chakra, the red energy, which represents the power that gives the energy, the lift, to blossom out in the crown chakra. So that angel is the angel of fire, of Kundalini fire.
And this last one over here, the third one.
And that's the angel of healing from the head soup.
That's the angel on the healing bridge.
Yeah, and that healing was done through sound in those old days, in the days of the temples, where healing was performed. It was performed by sound, and we're just tapping into that again these days.
You mean the vibration of
The
sound?
vibration of sound, how sound can heal.
Right.
Yeah,
Right,
it's just
with
coming in
toning.
again. Yeah, toning and.
Yes. And let's go to the last one.
Oh, that one.
Well, I think we have time for one more.
I think we've seen.
Yeah, that one's the
Yeah, we've seen that. The angels are having a party. And you're invited.
I understand you do workshops and you teach people how to move into their own creative potential.
Yes, it's a
I think
healing
that's a
thing.
great thing for you to be doing.
It's a healing. It's a celebration of the inner child and allowing, allowing.
All right, well, Thank you for
The
coming,
hour's
Arthur.
up.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you
Thank
both.
you, David.
Well, thank you for
Bye-bye,
having me.
everybody. It was just an incredible hour.
God bless
Good
you
night.
all.
Thank you.